Mr. Floyd, why have you not permitted Negroes to bowl at your bowling alley here in Orangeburg?
Because I have my own customers that patronize me 52 weeks a year. They support me year in and year out. I need no other business.
The tension kept growing. I mean, you could just feel it in the atmosphere.
I don't think there was any malice in their hearts to go out there and deliberately kill people that night.
What occurred last night is of great concern to us. It's one of the saddest days in the history of South Carolina. The years of work and understanding have been shattered by this unfortunate incident at Orangeburg.
Every black person in South Carolina was impacted by the Orangeburg Massacre.
The only other time I had that feeling was when Martin Luther King was killed.
I was the Columbia Bureau Chief for the Charlotte Observer, and I had become the South Carolina stringer or non-staff correspondent for the New York Times and the Washington Post as well. You could feel tension steadily building. You could just feel it building.
They called a curfew 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We went across the Holiday Inn on Highway 601 in Orangeburg at 4 o'clock, and it's a weird feeling. I maintained the pigeons wasn't even flying. It's just everything was real still.
I have considered it necessary to declare that a state of emergency exists in Orangeburg.
The only other time I had that feeling was when Martin Luther King was killed. It's a weird feeling. I said, I hope I never go through that again.
So on Thursday night, students were very frustrated and angry, and some began shouting at cars passing in front of the campus on Highway 601, and began throwing some stones, and highway patrolmen were there. The patrol moved up toward the edge of the campus, and as they did, students retreated.
I remember listening to patrol radio that night. I heard a signal 33, which meant nobody transmit. I said, oh, something's happened. Nobody knew what was going to evolve. And I really didn't know at the time what the whole story was.
And then somebody in the highway patrol, to my recollection, said, fire. But it was more like a question. The inflection on it was more like a question than an order.
The sky lit up like it was lightning flash when the shooting began. The shooting itself took 8 to 10 seconds.
And then there was a single shot, and then right after that, a volley of everything. Everybody started firing off toward the campus.
It sounded like an eternity to me. It sounded like it started and it just didn't stop and wouldn't stop. You couldn't do anything to make it stop.
And this was 8 seconds in which 9 highway patrolmen were firing buckshot with shotguns, some shooting multiple times, each shell containing 8 to 10 pellets, each the size of a .32 caliber pistol. And one, I think it was a city policeman, fired his service revolver 6 times.
And they all started firing, and as immediately as they finished firing one volley, an officer was screaming at them, cease fire, cease fire, I didn't order you to fire, cease fire. And as he finished his statement, you heard the moans and groans and crying from the campus.
students, as soon as the shooting began, of course, turned to run, some or dived for the ground. So some were shot in the bottom of the feet. Most of all but 2 or 3 were shot from either the side or the rear.
Some of the highway patrol were very grievous about what they had just done and not realize they had done it. Others were, well, it served them right attitude.